Let's go to Dr. Karyn Gordon. Hello. He's sitting pretty waiting for me.
And I've got the flowers, Tracy.
Oh,
I just wanted to decorate our table a little bit.
I love it. It's a very nice touch. And I love this topic. So we have talked about this before. We talk about it in the makeup room. I think it's such an important topic to talk to our viewers about. And it's all about learning styles. We all learn very differently. And this comes up if you are a part of the education system for sure, because your child might be struggling, or if you were a student, you might have found that you struggled and maybe you didn't know why. A lot of it has to do with your learning style.
Right. Yes, this is a fascinating topic. It applies to relationships, communication, parenting, motivation, kids' engagement in school. So I want to help parents, everyone listening at home, to really understand how this actually works. Because when I learned this, I was like, this is awesome. I loved it. So I'm going to do a simple test with Tracy. Really, really simple. So what I want you to do is I want you to pretend like they're not here.
No, I do that every day. It's fine.
Oh, good. All right. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a couple silly questions.
Okay.
And I want you to be totally relaxed. Okay. Yes, totally relaxed.
Ready.
And pretend almost that they're not here. And I'm going to ask you some silly questions, and then I'm going to tell you with what I'm doing. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. I want you to think back to your very first day of school and what you wore.
Oh, I don't remember.
It's in there somewhere. Just give it, don't worry about the silence. I know this is strange. Don't worry about the silence. Just.
I'm pretty sure it was a dress, because I was that kind of kid. Maybe some Mary Janes.
Okay. Question.
Hair and pigtails.
Okay, question number 2.
Yeah.
I want you to think back again to that very first day of school.
Okay.
And what was the very first conversation you can remember having? And it's somewhere in the memory, so you have to be just really relaxed and just allow yourself to try to retrieve it in your memory.
JC, how much time do we have for this segment?
5 minutes.
Okay. We might be here for 60.
Yeah.
The first conversation.
Okay, I'm going to cut you off because I already figured it out. And no offense, not that I don't care about your answer.
That's okay.
But there's a reason with what I'm doing. Okay. Now she's really trying to think about this. Okay, if I was to give you directions to go from here to, let's say, I don't know, Hamilton, and I was going to give you directions verbally, and I'm going to say you're going to go south and Yonge, you're going to go west on Lakeshore, and I was to verbally give you the instructions, and you happen to have a pen and paper with you, and let's say you did not know where you're going, like it's too far. Would you write it out, turn right, or draw a map?
I have to write it out.
So did you find school quite easy? Mm-hmm. Yes, so you are classic auditory learner.
Okay.
And so here's what I did. It's called optimal level functioning.
Yeah.
Big fancy word. How the eyes are connected to the brain tells us what kind of learner somebody is. So I was asking you questions, you had to go way back in your memory.
Yeah.
So what happens is people will do one of 3 things. Now, and I was asking you 2 questions to see if I could see the same pattern, and you did exactly the same. So what happens is people either look up, they'll be like, yeah, what did I wear? Or they look side to side, or they look down to the ground. People who look are visual learners, they're picturing it. People who look side to side are auditory learners. They learn best through just hearing. People who look down to the ground are kinesthetic learners. They learn best through doing. I asked you 2 questions to see if I saw the same pattern, and actually I did.
I did side to side?
You did side to side both times. Now what's interesting, you went side, and then when you couldn't get it, you went up. So it's like we're all a combination of all 3.
Yeah.
Right? So, but you want to kind of find what's your main mode.
That's cool. So
I know, it's so cool.
So everyone can do
I get all excited about this because it honestly affects,
home.
yes, you can do it at home, but here's a couple of tricks. You have to make sure you try to, do not tell people you're looking at their eyes. The second that you're looking at their eyes, it actually throws it off.
Right.
Ask at least 2 or 3 questions, things that they have to go way back in their memory for. So that's why I'm not asking what you had for lunch yesterday.
Right.
It's funny, when I first learned this in my graduate studies, came home and I was like so excited, and I did it to my sister. And I asked her the question, and then she's like, she went like this, and I'm like, she closed her eyes. And I'm like, okay, let's try that one more time. And then she did it again. She closed her eyes. I'm like, okay, this is so not working.
This is not at my
But you know what it
nose.
is? She's got a photographic memory.
Oh.
So that's why, so I was like, so anyway.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Okay, so do the test, figure out how you learn.
Okay.
And now when you understand how you learn, because there are 3 different ways.
Yes.
What is this going to tell you about communicating?
So it's going to connect around how you communicate. So auditory learners learn best through talking. Talk. No problem. Okay.
And that's
why,
me, right?
That is
I'm
you.
auditory.
So auditory learners tend to do very well naturally in school. They don't really have to. If anything, they might have to work on self-discipline because school comes so easy.
Right.
Okay. But they just find school. The system is catered for auditory learners.
Yeah.
Visual learners, for their communication, they actually learn best through storytelling, through acronyms. So if I'm doing, like, as a speaker, if I'm actually speaking in front of like 1,000 people, I might just be talking, but I'll use storytelling, and I'll use visuals, I'll use metaphors.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kinesthetic learners, they are going to be learning best through communication. Sorry,
No,
through doing,
right? They actually
yes.
have to go through the process of doing something, and then they're going to get it.
Correct. So let me give you an example around how this translates to relationships. So my husband is off the charts auditory.
Yeah.
Off the charts. Found school extremely easy.
Okay.
I am highly visual.
Right.
Okay. So in our communication, here's what happens. We go like this. Because what happens is he's talking,
Yeah.
and I start zoning out. I'm like, dude, can you send me an email? Can you give me a chart? Can you give me a to-do? Really? Because if there's too much information, if there's too much auditory talk,
you shut down.
I shut down. I shut down.
So you need to know what you are, so you can know and know who what your partner is.
Correct.
So you know how to speak with them.
Correct.
How to get that information across. Otherwise, the dry cleaning is never going to get picked up.
Yes, exactly.
Ever.
And so you might be thinking, like if some women at home, some might be like, gosh, my husband zones out when I tell him to kind of do certain things.
Right.
And it might be because he's visual. Like
Or
if you're
it's because
talking,
he's not having sex with you.
or that could be option number B, Tracy.
Zoning
so you got
out.
to kind of decide: is it the visual communication thing, or is it not? So yes, correct. It could be one of the two.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about. We want to talk about this as well in the context of our children, and we're going to do that a little bit later. So, is there any other tip you want to tell us before we leave this segment?
I think the biggest thing is to definitely do it with your kids at home. Okay,
Yeah.
definitely do it with your kids at home. Watch with where their eyes are actually going. Don't put any kind of pressure on them, and then try to think about how you can actually start communicating according to their method.
And if you're doing it with your kids at home and they're young kids, are you still trying to get them to go back in their memory?
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Okay.
you still can.
When
Like
you
in
were
my-
born, how
When-
did
yes.
it feel? Go way
Yeah,
back.
exactly, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
More coming up a little bit later. Let's go to break. Stay with us.